Tap like to unlock a smoother path ahead, and drop your zodiac sign in the comments. This is how you power up this forecast personally for you. Even the strongest, brightest souls sometimes pause and wonder, who am I if I stop being strong? Sagittarius knows how to inspire the world and light a spark in others, yet behind that glow, there can be a quiet fatigue no one sees. 19 October is a day to remember why you set out on this path, and to catch a fresh tailwind. Today's energy invites you to slow the pace, not to quit, but to ease off just enough to truly see where you're going. In your rush, you can forget why you chose this route at all. Life gently asks a simple but vital question today. Do you still want this, or have you just forgotten how to pause? You may feel either inner confusion or surprising clarity. It all depends on how honestly you're willing to look at what's happening in your heart. Not in your to-dos, not in your goal lists, not in other people's expectations, right in your feelings, because today, your feelings tell the truth. Relationships send clear signals now. If you're beside someone who limits you, you'll feel it sharply. If you're with someone who inspires you, you'll draw strength from it. Sagittarius cannot thrive for long in an atmosphere of control, pressure, or coldness. Today you'll see where you're being held down, and where you're being allowed to grow. If you're single, an unexpected encounter, a glance, a message, or a sense that someone is reaching out could arrive. Don't hurry. Today you see people more deeply, beyond appearances, in their energy. If your heart quietly says, "This is my person, listen," it could be the beginning of something real. This is also a perfect day to start a new chapter, literally and figuratively. Return to something that once inspired you but got shelved. Have an honest conversation with yourself. What do I truly want? Revisit your goals, plans, and roots. Let yourself exhale, emotionally, mentally, physically. You may crave solitude not because you're unloved, but because you need to hear yourself. Sagittarius is often surrounded by people, and in all that brightness, can lose sight of your own shadow. Take a look at it. What angers you? What worries you? What truly inspires you? Where are you exhausted from always being at the top? Where do you want permission to simply be? You may feel a strong urge to shed what's unnecessary. Images, expectations, even connections that no longer give warmth. This isn't running away, it's liberation. Sagittarians know how to leave, not from lack of love, but because the soul calls for places where it can breathe. And 19 October is exactly the kind of day when you want to square your shoulders and say, "Now I choose myself." You'll also see more clearly where you aren't valued, not because anyone openly hurts you, but because your ideas aren't heard, your emotions are brushed aside, your yes or no isn't respected. This can be a turning point. Your energy is precious and deserves to be given to those who can receive it and multiply it. If you're in a relationship, today is ideal for observing without arguments or demands. Just watch how the person beside you treats your vulnerability, your fears, your dreams. That will reveal more than any promises, and you'll understand whether you're on the same path. If you haven't fallen in love in a long time, a subtle sense of anticipation may arise, not necessarily towards someone specific, but a feeling of, "I'm waking up, I'm open again." This is a vital shift. A Sagittarius with an awakened heart becomes nearly unstoppable, in the best way. Everything starts moving faster, easier, brighter. 19 October is also right for telling yourself, "I can believe again. I can forgive myself for what didn't work. I can accept both my strength and my softness. I can release the burden of other people's expectations and put a full stop where an ellipsis has stretched on for too long." You might feel the urge to change everything: work, place, circle, lifestyle. Don't rush decisions, but don't ignore the impulses. They reveal where exhaustion has built up and where your soul is asking for new air. Even if nothing changes outwardly yet, it matters to admit, "I don't want this anymore." That acknowledgement is the beginning. Be gentle with self-criticism. On days like this, when you're more sensitive, don't become your own harsh judge. Yes, you've made mistakes. Yes, you've spent energy in places that didn't return it. But those chapters shaped who you are, and that is worthy. If you rest today, it isn't weakness. If you decline a meeting that doesn't interest you, it isn't selfishness. If you choose silence instead of talking, it isn't detachment. It's mature self-love. You're a sign that lives on inspiration. Without it, even the coziest conditions feel suffocating. Today, a once-forgotten dream may stir within you. Maybe it's just an image, a scene, a memory, but there's truth in it. It can remind you where you wanted to go before fear took over. If life has been full of obligations and an internal race, today you can finally exhale and feel, "I don't have to be productive every minute. I don't need to prove my worth. I can simply exist." and that is enough. This day is perfect for an honest talk with yourself, not as a project or a task, but like a friend. What are you afraid of? What do you want? What hurts? Where do you ignore your own voice? These simple questions can free you more than any plan or list. Sagittarius often runs away from the self, into work, adventures, helping others. But today, life gently and persistently brings you back to you, through a pause, through a loved one's words, through a body that suddenly says, I'm tired, through a soul that whispers, I want to live differently. If you work with people, share knowledge, or inspire others, you're especially luminous today. Your energy can ignite those around you, but only if you're not giving your last reserves. Refill before you give, so your inner fire stays bright. Unexpected news or offers may arrive. Look not only at the content, but at the feelings they stir. If you tighten inside, it's not for you. If it scares you yet excites you, take a closer look. Your intuition won't fail you today. You might think of someone you haven't spoken to in a long time. That isn't random. Maybe they're thinking of you. Maybe it's time to release, forgive, close the loop, or open the door again. Don't ignore the nudge. Sagittarians often sense a channel of premonition others miss. Today it's especially active. Allow yourself to be imperfect. Say what you truly feel. Decline what doesn't resonate. Smile for no reason. Cry if a wave comes. Be silent if there are no words. Move if standing still hurts, or stay if your heart wants to be near. Sometimes it seems you must always hustle, keep the tempo, and meet expectations. But 19 October isn't about speed. It's about essence. It's about taking even one day to stop being the hero of someone else's script and become your raw, honest self again. You may notice people drawn to you today, not for your speeches, but for your sincerity. When a Sagittarius drops the armor and says, here is how I feel, you become magnetic, not perfect but real, and that is exactly what the world needs now. Let yourself start fresh. Even if nothing outside changes, you can choose within to live differently. Without self-violence, without the endless race, without trying to please everyone. Simply in the flow of your own nature, which is open, vivid, alive, and free. If today you hear an inner yes, to a person, an idea, a road, don't be afraid, even if you don't know where it leads. Today's yes can begin a new journey, one you'll travel without pain, fear, or guilt, with trust, joy, and ease. And if instead you hear a no, honor it, even if it defies logic, others' expectations, or how things are not supposed to be. That's your inner compass, and today it's exceptionally precise. You deserve more than success, you deserve real happiness, where you're loved not for achievements, but simply for being you, where you're welcomed not for your usefulness, but for your soul, where you can just be, and that is enough. You are the one who knows how to light the way, but today, let someone light it for you. You deserve that.